When thinking about environmental and social justice and how it can be achieved, what kind of role does food justice play, and how is this linked to food deserts? Think about where you live. Now think about where you usually go to access food. Do you walk, drive, or take public transportation? How much does it usually cost for you and your family to put food on the table? Would you consider the food that you buy to be healthy and affordable? All of these questions help determine how accessible grocery stores with fresh food are in a neighborhood.
The United States Department of Agriculture defines a food desert as urban neighborhoods in rural towns without ready access to fresh, healthy, and affordable food. These neighborhoods do not have grocery stores that are near. Instead, they have an overabundance of fast food restaurants or liquor stores. Choices are limited to what is near their neighborhood, which is not always healthy. The limited access to full-service markets is historically marginalized among low-income communities of color. Because of poor access to healthy foods in these areas, residents are at higher risk to diseases such as obesity, diabetes, and heart problems.
Food deserts disproportionately affect neighborhoods in Long Beach, such as those in North and West Long Beach. Living in a food desert does not necessarily mean that a community has no access to food. There could be small grocery stores and liquor stores, but it lacks healthy food. Many now believe that another encompassing term for food deserts is food apartheid, which addresses ways in which food deserts are systematic and the intersections of the problem. When grocery stores are developed, they often base their location on zip codes and socioeconomic status of the neighborhood. Low-income families who struggle with transportation due to not having access to a car or money to pay for transportation cannot afford to travel outside of their neighborhood to go to a supermarket. According to the organization LB Fresh, Long Beach owns many vacant lots from the redevelopment era, which makes us believe that there is more that could be done to ensure that everyone has access to healthy food. And a good place to start is introducing more nonprofit community gardens.
Currently, Long Beach Organic, LBO, has 9 community gardens, 2 of which are in North Long Beach and 1 in West Long Beach. In total, there are about 15 community gardens and more than 20 school gardens in Long Beach. Unfortunately, many of these current efforts are not making great changes in known food deserts. Joe of LBO argues that this is because of a lack of demand and the cost of plots. For example, there have in the past been gardens that have failed due to lack of participation from gardeners. On the other hand, in high-income areas that are not food deserts, there is a surplus of participation, leading to people having to wait years on a waiting list for a plot.
Have room to grow in the areas where the demand is highest, which isn't the food deserts.
Okay.
It's actually areas closer to Whole Foods. So that's a little ironic, I know.
While efforts to improve food health and security continue to develop, the impacts of these early gardens are already being felt throughout Long Beach. Just through Long Beach Organic alone, there have been major improvements in the community. For example, fundraisers and classes offered by LBO have brought community members together and have created more solidarity around the issue of food and health. These classes allow gardeners to hone their skills both in nutrition and in-home gardening. LBO has also shown the possible fruits of a community's labor as they turn privately owned, often wasted land, into a communal area that benefits more than just the landowner. While LBO has begun to make societal effects with its efforts, its changes have also reached the individual. As Americans continue to be more disconnected from their food, community gardens are one of the easiest fixes. With community gardens, we can remember what it takes to grow our food, and through it, appreciate both the earth that provides the food, as well as the labor that goes into gardening. Hopefully, this will shift us towards a healthier and more sustainable future. Here are some interviews with gardeners who felt the benefits of gardening.
Is Rick Shank, and I've been a member of the Long Beach Organic only since January,
Okay.
so not that long.
Was it difficult for you to get a plot at LBO?
Yes,
Okay.
I was on the waiting list for probably a year and a half, 2 years.
What type of food do you grow in your garden?
All vegetables. So here we have a lot of herbs. There's chives and some lettuce, arugula, some celery. Got some beets, and these are sweet peas or snow peas. We got some cabbage, broccoli. Those are string beans, the flat ones. I got some peppers started, some leeks, some kale. My tomatoes are started, eggplant. That's a bunch of lettuce that's gone to seed. I like to let it go to seed because it attracts the butterflies and then they pollinate everything.
How often do you eat the food you've grown?
Oh, every day.
Every day. Okay. And do you think that this garden has made it easier for you to get organic food?
Yes. I would go to the farmers markets around town, and they're supposed to be certified organic. But you at this point in time, you pay more for organic food, so I like growing it.
Yeah.
I know it's organic, and I find it to be very meditative.
Okay. So how long have you been a gardener at Long Beach Organic?
I joined Long Beach Organic about 3 years ago. I was on the waiting list for 2 years, and I live just up the street. And so it's really convenient. Like, it's made a huge difference in my life. I'm a vegetarian, and so that's my plot right there. And yeah, I pretty much eat everything I grow or give it away. In the winter I grow like a lot of lettuce, so I never have to buy lettuce at the store or any greens. And then in the summer there's like tomatoes and eggplant and peppers, and yeah, it's really nice coming here, and the community, is really supportive and friendly.
Would you say it's easier to find organic food now that you have this garden?
It's definitely cheaper.
Okay.
Yeah, I buy organic for a lot of things, like apples. I don't grow apples here, but if I buy greens, they're organic. But some of the organic stuff is expensive, so it's nice to be able to grow it.
Now that we know what's at stake and the benefits involved in community gardening, how can these benefits be spread? Luckily, there's an easy pattern for success for community gardens. First, check if there's a local organization, such as LBO, that can help you get started. If these don't exist, begin to organize fellow people interested in community garden. There are also tax breaks provided by the state, such as AB 465 or the Urban Agricultural Incentive Zones, both of which reduce property taxes on plots to the cheaper prices associated with agricultural land, which help a community garden look much more attractive to landowners. Once the land is accounted for, now the hard part of setting up a system of rules and regulations must occur. This will include whether your garden will be organic, as well as how plots will be divided. Here's a tip for success from a fellow gardener.
If you had the ability to change something about LBO, what would it be and why?
What would it be with LBO? Make it mandatory if you don't come. The Saturdays you should come on. You either be penalized or you don't need to go. I think the rules should be a little bit stricter. But if they're not, it's like you're in school. They don't make them strict, you lag off of them.
Finally, your community garden will need to find a way to advertise, as well as find ways to ensure that gardeners continue to work the plot, failure of which can lead to the death of a garden. As the Earth reaches its ecological limits, we must find ways to reinvent how we source food, as well as how wasteful our agricultural system is. One of the forefronts of battling this is reducing the distance our food travels. As community gardens begin to be established, cities are reducing their ecological impact, as well as combating the lack of availability of healthy food in food deserts. While the battle over food security continues, community gardens begin a step in reducing our food's carbon footprint and helping people across the board receive proper nutrition.